Megatron, come back!
Megatron is through with you, but I am not.
Not a bad day's work, was it, Optimus? I got Dad back, Cybertron's gone, the Earth is safe, and Megatron's finished.
I only wish that were true, Spike. I will be avenged.
Although this was the end of The Ultimate Doom, and the video cassette I got from that store oh so many times, the very next episode of the series would show us the terrible aftermath that befell so much of the Earth during Cybertron's short stay nearby. But the Autobots pulled together to repair and rebuild the many cities and towns that were ruined due to these awful calamities. They seemed to be happily working along, eager to restore that which had been destroyed. The Decepticons, meanwhile, were in disarray, with the larger Seekers picking on the smaller cassettes of Soundwave. A common mistake they made all too often, and one that Rumble and Frenzy never took well. Just as the infighting reached its peak, Megatron finally arrived to sort out their disorderly conduct. His first order of business was to settle an unfinished portion of it with Dr. Archeville. While Skywarp claimed they didn't know where he'd run off to with Starscream, Laserbeak returned with intel of the new alliance formed by the two of them, and to where they'd fled. Megatron mobilizes his forces as they all head out to deal with these two traitors. Naturally, such a force couldn't stay hidden from Teletran 1's Sky Spy network, and the Autobots moved to intercept the Decepticons. Starscream and Archeville head towards Archeville's secret mountain laboratory, with Starscream compelling the Doctor to grant him entrance. Archeville stands proudly at the impenetrability of his stronghold, an impenetrability Starscream finds lacking. Within, Starscream finds the prized possession of Dr. Archeville's experiments, the exponential generator, which seems to, when carefully balanced and controlled, expel a perpetual stockpile of energy, but had the potential to destroy the entire planet. Definitely a doomsday-level device a mad scientist such as Archeville would invent. Well, that sounded wonderful to Starscream. He'd simply improve on the Doctor's design by swelling the energy output of the generator until it destroyed the entire Earth, taking Megatron and the Autobots with it. Then, from the safety of Cybertron, Starscream would gather the energy, repowering Cybertron, and stand unrivaled as the supreme ruler of the universe. Simple. Dr. Archeville had at least the sense to try and stop Starscream, but Starscream was having none of it, continuing to mistreat the Doctor as he coerces him to head to the safety of Cybertron.
Starscream, I implore you! The total destruction of my world is unthinkable!
Compassion from you, Doctor. Spare me your concern. Once we're on Cybertron, nothing will interfere with my plans. Before long, I shall be Lord Starscream, tyrant of the firmament!
As the Decepticons move to intercept Starscream and deal with him, the Autobots move to intercept them. Their skirmish leads to some fun moments, especially another one-on-one battle between Optimus and Megatron. until Megatron decides he doesn't have time for this and apparently retreats with the Autobots following, only for the flying Decepticons to lead the Autobots into a trap. The loose sand dunes in the canyon act as quicksand for the turbo-revving Autobots as Megatron taunts them in their helplessness. He leaves Laserbeak to watch over them and continues on. But as Laserbeak notices the Autobots plotting, he moves in to finish them, only to be taken down with an expert shot from Mirage and caught by the nimble Jazz. Thanks to Ironhide's chemical-producing abilities, they freeze the sand and are able to break free, as Jazz devises an idea how to discover the Decepticons' plot.
Hey, Optimus, how'd you like to hear #1 on the Decepticon Hot Cassette Charts?
As I believe the Earthlings say, lay it on me, man.
You got it. Let's hear what Laserbeak taped.
Laserbeak inadvertently provides the Autobots with the same intel given to the Decepticons before. Now knowing their destination, Optimus orders them to transform and roll out. As Starscream arrives to Cybertron, presumably somewhere near in the solar system now, we find Shockwave trying to manage the fallout after this debacle that sent Cybertron untethered into the vacuum of space. Starscream announces his own arrival immediately, to which Shockwave interrupts him, declaring that the flesh creature with Starscream is not welcome by Megatron's orders. Starscream rebuttals that his own orders supersede Megatron's now that he is the supreme ruler of the Decepticons. He also notifies Shockwave of the doom that befell Megatron, the Autobots having obliterated his starship. This explained much to Shockwave in his current predicament, and why Cybertron now moved about, as well as his inability to contact the Decepticons on Earth currently. Starscream then threatens Shockwave into helping him in his plans, and Shockwave relents for now.
You should feel honored. You will be the only member of your species to survive the end of your world. Excellent. All is in readiness.
I may not be able to save the Earth, but I can stop you from collecting the energy of its destruction. Ah!
You fool! Only a Decepticon can touch the controls when the sentry monitor is on. Take him to Repair Bay.
It seems that Dr. Archeville has learned the hard way what the cost is in dealing with the devil, as he continues to pay for his ambitions. Megatron and the Decepticons arrive at the location of Archeville's lab. In moments, he detects the exponential generator, but his lust for its energy prevents him noticing the timer indicating its inevitable overload. Before he can begin to harness this output, he's notified the Autobots have escaped their trap and arrived at the lab. They proceed outside and begin to once more tussle with Prime and his troops. On Cybertron, Starscream arrives to see these Decepticon repair droids have somewhat improved the Doctor's good looks. Archeville is shocked and abhorred at the monster he has now become, seeing his own humanity is being picked away by these mechanical beasts. While Starscream takes pleasure in taunting his small pet, Shockwave takes this opportunity to remove himself and risk another attempt at contacting Megatron. On Earth, Optimus has made his way past the Decepticons and towards the large buildup of energy he's been detecting. While he examines it, Megatron comes in from behind, threatening Prime to get away from his new device.
It belongs to me! Then you're not foolish enough to fire at me while I'm standing in front of it, are you, Megatron?
Let me blast him. I'll...
Quiet! I always hit what I aim for, Prime. Stand clear! Gladly. I hate standing at ground zero when an explosion is imminent. Or hadn't you noticed that your possession is in an unstable condition? Leave! I only want what's mine.
Megatron, come in. Megatron, this is Shockwave. Acknowledge. If you are functional, Megatron.
Of course I'm functional. Call back later. I'm busy.
Megatron, you must find Dr. Archeville's lab and disconnect the detonator on his exponential generator. It will explode any astrosecond.
A timing mechanism.
Megatron! Megatron, are you still there?
Everything is under control, Shockwave. Where is Starscream?
On Cybertron. He planned to destroy the Earth and gather the energy of the destruction.
When I get my hands on that traitor, his catalytic data assembly is mine!
It's a cool and interesting moment watching Optimus and Megatron silently reach a certain understanding, as Megatron realizes Optimus was telling the truth, and they somewhat put aside their differences in the interest of their own survival, if not the safety of the Earth. At this same time, Starscream watches from Cybertron, wondering why there's been no planetary explosion yet. Archeville is happy to see these plans interrupted, and points out that now only Starscream can return to the Earth to fix this interruption. He smiles, knowing either Starscream has failed, or may at least be destroyed along with the Earth. This is the last we see of Dr. Archeville, and after this, his ultimate fate is unknown. Perhaps he fell victim to further experiments of Shockwave later. Or perhaps he integrated his brain into the internal systems of Cybertron, or even Vector Sigma, in some effort to live forever. But whatever his ultimate fate is after this, he certainly followed in the same folly of those villains, who would sue to make themselves more machine than man. Twisted and evil. There was still the matter of the perpetual buildup of the generator's energy, even without Starscream's device. Megatron attempts to salvage its core, too tempted at the possible energy it could grant him. But Optimus stops him, pointing out that the buildup of heat and radiation is already too great, that it's melting even Megatron's armor. Megatron is still determined in his madness to take the core, so Prime finally rushes him, for Megatron's own good, for the good of the Earth. They wrestle for it, and only when the core is tossed across the room and Megatron sees it begin to rupture, does he see the sense in being rid of it. Knowing it will explode soon and take the planet with it, Megatron can think of only one way to quickly launch this cursed object far enough into space to avoid catastrophe. In one of the few instances Megatron and Optimus temporarily team up, Megatron makes his proposal.
No time to argue, Prime. Take this while I transform. Now load me! Fire!
What was...
Even far out into space, the explosion of the core knocks Starscream off course, causing him to crash on the Earth. It isn't long before Megatron finds him and decides to properly welcome him home. The Autobots drive back to base, having saved the Earth once more. Megatron had taken off pretty quickly after the explosion. It was clear he'd left to put his house in order. Jazz and the others joke about what Megatron might do to Starscream, thinking it's probably too much to wish for that they'd never see either of them again. Thus ended the grand adventure that began with Megatron's devious plans to enslave humanity, open a planetary space bridge, and nearly destroy the Earth in order to restore his homeworld of Cybertron. We almost saw these plans tear apart Sparkplug, pulling him away from his son, Spike. But once more, hope and love persevered, and goodness prevailed over evil, thanks to the unending courage of Optimus Prime and the Autobots. Thanks to them, even the ultimate doom can be prevented and the day saved yet again. I hope we can all take a page from their book as we work to dash the wicked plans of the evil around us and band together to make the world a better place while we march forward on our journey to a new age of peace and happiness and discover together, here's why it's cool.